Hello, my name is Victor Okechukwu, and I am happy to be having this conversation with you about youth entrepreneurship. So, what we are going to discuss today is first of all to define what is entrepreneurship. Then the next thing we do is to check what is youth entrepreneurship. Then we check what is social entrepreneurship, and we take the conversation from there. So, according to the dictionary, an entrepreneur is one who engages in an activity that is usually risky for a reward. And when we talk about it in terms of business, is the engagement of a person or an entity in an activity for profit or financial reward. Now, youth entrepreneurship is the same thing we just talked about. The only difference is that it's now entrepreneurial activity or the pursuance of a venture or an activity with the hope of getting a reward that is primarily done by young people, especially those between the ages of 15 and 24. Now, it doesn't mean that if you are above 24, you are not an entrepreneur. Of course you are, but the focus here is on people who are between the ages of 15 and 24. Now, if you're above that age, you don't need to fret. I'm above that age. So, but let's continue the conversation. So now, what is social entrepreneurship? Coming from our first two definitions, entrepreneurship is the pursuance of any venture, any activity, any business with the hope of a profit after taking some risks. Now, the difference between social entrepreneurship and the common or popular entrepreneurship as it is used in our normal language, our normal everyday speech, is that this entrepreneurial activity is focused on social issues, issues in your community, or issues about the environment. Now, who is a social entrepreneur? A social entrepreneur can be anybody. From the pictures you see on the screen, you see anybody can be a social entrepreneur. But the objective here is that the person must have a mindset to solve community-based problems. Now, the underlying factor between an entrepreneur, a youth entrepreneur, and a social entrepreneur is that they solve problems. They are problem solvers. They see a problem, they want to provide a solution to it. They don't just blame other people, they don't just talk, they are willing to think, talk, and do. Think, talk, and do. Think, talk, and do. Now, what is YALDA? Why is YALDA interested in entrepreneurship? Why is YALDA speaking to you about entrepreneurship? Now, YALDA, first and foremost, is a product of entrepreneurship in the social space. In the early 2000s, some young students came together and decided to create a vehicle for the engineering of progress and development, especially in the area of leadership in the continent of Africa. They were unhappy with the way Africa was going and they wanted to make a change. So they became entrepreneurial. They founded this non-profit organization, which I am now here to represent to you, or rather, which I'm now here to present to you. And the organization has empowered thousands of young people across the world over the last 10 to 15 years. Now, you can see the pictures on the screen, which I like to call our family pictures. When you look at the pictures, you will see or you have an idea of how long YALDA has come. You will see that YALDA is Pan-African, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of your beliefs. YALDA is for Africans, whether you're African on the continent or you're an African in the diaspora. So the next question here, which I think you'll probably be asking yourself now is, so why are you telling me? What is in it for me? YALDA is an opportunity for you to solve problems in your community with an arsenal of extensive resources that have been cultivated and are still being cultivated over the last decade and more. Beyond just having resources, YALDA is an opportunity for you to grow your personal capacity, because we do have a proficiency in empowering people to become who they have been called to be, who they desire to be the change that they want to be. So that's what is in it for you, an opportunity to do more. Now, I'm very happy to introduce you to our leader, Chuks Okorekwe, ESK. Chuks is the president of YALDA Nigeria. Beyond being a highly accomplished lawyer, Chuks is a phenomenal person. Chuks is someone that when you spend time with him, you will leave very refreshed. You feel someone is a great person. He's a great mind. And then one thing that sets Chuks apart from a lot of other young people is that he has a desire to empower young people in Nigeria to become the change that Nigeria needs. And Nigeria needs positive change. Chuks believes that young people can contribute significantly to the positive change that Nigeria needs if they have the right environment, the right resources, and the right support, that they will become all those things. And that's why we got involved in YALDA. So I'm happy to tell you that Chuks is not inviting you to do something that he himself has not done. Chuks is a social entrepreneur, and my humble self, I am too. From the picture that you will see, the photograph on the screen, you see that Chuks is the fourth person from your left. Chuks was a speaker at an event called the International Trash Conference, an exhibition in 2017. It held in Warri, Niger Delta, Nigeria. And this conference was born out of a social entrepreneurship activity that we engaged in 2015. From the photograph that you can see on your lower left, that is a team of which I was part of, although I'm not currently in that picture. But those are my teammates who were involved in sanitation and environmental conservation in Rivers State between 2015 and 2016. You would also see on the lower right, you would see a photograph of us receiving an award. And we received an award for our activities in the social entrepreneurship space, especially because of the sanitation and environmental conservation activity that we did during the year 2015 to 2016. What does this whole thing mean? It means that, number one, you should be a problem solver. When you are a problem solver, that's a good first step, but it's not enough. You need to be in the right company, because with the right people, you can do great things. And entrepreneurship can be lonely. And if you are not with the right people, you will burn out. Number three is that when you are a problem solver, it's like being a magnet. You attract people like yourself. Now, if you take a look at the pictures in front of you, let's even take the one on top, for example. Every single person in the photograph that you see today on your screen is a mega problem solver. All of them are doing very, very well in their different industries. So my message for you today is that you can be the change that your community needs. You can be the change that your environment needs. You can be that change, that person that can cause a positive transformation. It can be you. The next question is, what should I do now? It's simple. It's just like the way you solve any other thing. Think of a problem. What is the problem that makes you the most annoyed in your environment, in your community? The next thing is to ask yourself, how can I solve it? Think about the methods of solving it. Think about the least cost method of solving it. Think about how your solution can be sustainable. Think about who you need to solve these things. And then start solving it. You don't need to wait. Just go about solving it. So thank you very much for listening. I'll be very happy if you join YALDA Nigeria. YALDA Nigeria is looking for problem solvers. We have the resources that you need to grow your impact. And beyond that, we actually want to empower you with the things that you need to become everything that you are called to be, everything you dream of being, everything you desire to be. Remember the adage that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. Thank you very much for listening.